Good evening, my crime family. How are you all doing tonight? Oh, someone dropped out down in backstage again, I see. Where'd she go? This is going to be a good night. I can tell that right now. It's going to be some pretty deep conversation night, I do believe. There's some pretty heavy topics we're going to be bringing up on the Idaho Fort case. And I have some good people to write with me to do this. So yeah, I'm excited. Then we're going to show you the trailer of what's coming. We do have a trailer to show you what's coming, and that'll be later in the show. So be ready for that. And anyway, I want to say hi to my crime family. It's been I took some time off. I really did need it. I really did need it. Bianca, good to see you, girl. Best of me, my girl. Elaine Elizabeth, good to see you. Joe Pugsley, good to see you. Raul, good to see you. Oh boy, it's going fast. Randy, my brother, good to see you. Big Mikey, my brother, good to see you. Eve Lucky, good to see you. Moonflower Lassa, my girl. We need to talk some more here soon. We haven't talked on the phone for a while. Maybe I'll give you a call tomorrow. Might be good if you're open. Colder Covered, good to see you. Lulu Chu, good to see you. And Joanne, good to see you, girl. Carrie T, good to see you. Eve Lucky, did I say you? I don't know, but good to see you again. If I did, Debbie Casardo, good to see you. Jackie Bushable, good to see you. Wade, good to see you. And Nikki, good to see you. And I keep scrolling. Carrie T, good to see you. Okay, yeah, we have quite a night. And the first thing I better do is introduce some guests, right? Ro, good to see you up there. I see you. Elbow, my girl. There you are. I knew you were there somewhere. Good to see you, my girl. And she's been working her little butt off. I can tell you that right now. And before she gets out of here, I'm going to introduce our one and only Pebbelz. Hey, girl. I had to get you up here before you escaped.
I don't even know if this thing's working.
It's working. I hear you fine.
Thank God. Okay, hey, peoples. Oh. It kicked me out like 3 times.
Did it? Uh-oh. I hope it doesn't happen anymore.
Well, now you're stuck with me.
Right? Well, good. I hope so. We got some heavy topics tonight. It'll be an interesting evening. Sure. Well, hi, Sherlock. Good to see you. Okay, and another one. This is natural healing. All right. Hey, girl, how you doing?
Hello, everyone. Good to be here.
Yeah.
I feel like I just talked to you.
Pebbelz, we did, didn't we?
Right?
So good, we can talk again, right?
We're about to.
I know, right? Hello, everyone in chat.
Yep, there's a few in there already. It's building fast too. So
it's so weird.
And then we have
able to see chat.
Right, we have one more to bring in here now, and welcome Leah Storie. Leah, good to see you, girl. My girl. What's up?
Hey, y'all. Hey to everybody in chat, and Pebbelz and Natural again, and Tommy.
Leah, your draw sounds familiar.
Right?
Yeah.
I see you girls in there today. And Mikey, Mikey, you must have been having some fun. He's out there.
We gave him a headache, I'm sure.
No, he's a good guy to sit there through all that with us.
I know, really?
I love our Discord. I do. I love our Discord. Because, I mean, it's just us. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like that. And there's like
it's
different
nice.
rooms.
Yeah, I just kind
Elbows
of
making
fell
all
into
these
that
little
one.
rooms, right? You fell in there.
Yeah. I was like, this sounds
Mikey
good.
looks like he fell in there. Where is Mike? I thought he was out here. I thought he seen him out here earlier.
He
I'm pretty
was.
sure I did. Where did he
Oh,
go?
I was looking for Mr. Randy. He said he was going to be up here. I thought.
Oh
last
yeah,
week.
he's yeah. We got to get Randy up here sooner or later.
Yeah, he was
Randy.
talking trash.
Yep. Got
I
to do
think he's
that.
out there
Yeah,
somewhere.
we got quite a night here, so I don't know whether to bring up that one right now or not. Maybe we'll go to. It is. This case is getting to the point where they're going down different paths.
Is it the case or is it us?
Well, the subject matter is
Mhm.
a little more intense, I think. A little. Yeah. Haven't you noticed that in the last couple of days?
Well, I was being sarcastic, but yeah, definitely.
From quite a few different creators.
Yeah.
And yeah, and maybe we'll just get right to it. And
Now you're starting to scare me.
We'll just get right to it. We'll just we're going to take a look at Neek's Peaks.
Yeah.
You must have been reading my mind.
Okay, which one is it here? I think it's this one. Is this the one? It's not showing me the picture. Great. That means I got to go over. It's gonna. Yep, this is the one. All right. Don't forget to mute mics.
A large group of about 20 individuals had been seen getting into the cargo area of a U-Haul truck.
The New York Post had actually reported that police were looking into some particular white nationalist with interest in the Idaho 4 murders. And I don't really see where that makes much sense. Why the hell would Xana, Ethan, Kaylee, and Maddie be targeted by white nationalists? I'm not really sure that makes sense. And most of them seem to be predominantly white, not that that matters, but I don't know. It's very odd. I honestly just don't even understand. I don't even understand why that would have fit or why that would make sense or why they would have even went there in the first place. And I'm actually very interested in it. And it also seems to align with some of the dates for the search warrants, some of the dates that some of them actually got in town, and some of the dates that an alleged security incident happened, and some of the dates that allegedly Patriot Front were seen committing crimes on a North Idaho campus.
a 911 call came in from a concerned citizen saying a large group of about 20 individuals had been seen getting into the cargo area of a U-Haul truck in the parking lot of the Spring Hill Suites, believed to be communicating with another man in a red Camry using a two-way radio. Police say it further indicated an organized and pre-planned event. 31 men were detained on the side of the road. Police also say in the back of the U-Haul they found metal shields, flags on abnormally long metal poles, and at least one smoke grenade. Many of the suspects were wearing face masks, shin guards, and other protective gear. And officers say it was similar in nature to law enforcement riot control equipment, indicating, quote, an intent to use violence or the threat of violence to disturb the public peace. A man identified as Thomas Rousseau, the leader and founder of Patriot Front, was also carrying documents outlining call locations, primary checkpoints, and drill times, as well as GPS coordinates for a drop point with 2 backup plans. These new documents.
Okay, here's my first stop right here. And this is where it is a kind of a touchy subject in a way, but I don't like these, the WS white supremacists or whatever, and the Nazi shit, and I mean I despise them to the depths of my soul. And why this country spews this Nazi shit that our parents and grandparents and uncles died in World War II fighting against. And these people have regular Americans being talked into this kind of
rhetoric.
Rhetoric and ideology.
Yes.
It just freaks me out.
100%.
This is somebody that wanted to exterminate. This is somebody that wanted to exterminate Jewish people. All of them.
Yep.
And a lot more.
Yes. Oh, yes. I am outraged at this. This is getting worse. We're not getting better.
Right. Yeah.
Any kind of extremist type of view that takes it to that point
level, I'm
not down with.
No, never.
All right. I'm glad we're on the same page.
Oh, yeah.
We vibing.
All right. Let's keep going here.
Documents revealed there were references to using smoke at the discretion of a column coordinator and an exit strategy once a confrontational dynamic had been established. Investigators state this recovered operational plan further indicated the confrontational intentions of the group to antagonize and cause disorder. In all, 31 men from 13 different states were arrested and 2 other vehicles impounded. When questioning one man from Birmingham, Alabama, he reportedly told police, "We go where we're needed."
They wanted to bust up the gay pride event. Now, Patriot Front, for those not in the loop, is a group that's been pushing white nationalistic vibes hard since the infamous rally in Charlottesville back in 2017.
Immediate area, or you will be arrested.
Graphic images like this showing 20-year-old DeAndre Harris being beaten with sticks going viral.
We were walking down, they bum rushed us, and they just beat me with the poles.
Just before noon, Virginia Governor Terry McAuliffe declares a state of emergency. Then, that terrible moment. When the driver of this gray Dodge mows down a group of marchers who were protesting the rally. He rams into one group, then puts his car in reverse and accelerates, running over several more before fleeing the scene.
The car just plowed through hundreds of people downtown Charlottesville.
Hit like 2 or 3 other cars and put people in between the cars, smashed into people.
The driver is identified as 20-year-old James Alex Field from Maumee, Ohio. Just before the attack, Fields was caught by our ABC cameras chanting a message of white power. 19 people were injured. 32-year-old Heather Heyer was killed. Heather's mother told us her daughter was there protesting white supremacy.
But when it comes down to laying down the law, the case against Rousseau got tossed out by the judge, John Cafferty. Why, you ask? Well, it boils down to a whole mess of delays, missing evidence, and some serious missteps by the prosecutors. While most of Rousseau's followers faced some sort of consequences, Rousseau himself walked free, highlighting
And my second stop.
Mm.
Okay. There's a lot of people that don't believe in the FBI and blah, blah, blah. I have faith in them to a certain point, but I think there are sections of the United States where they're corrupt.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
I do believe the Northwest might be one of those areas because I swear to God, it is a hub, and it is a major hub in this country. Moscow,
Unfortunately, it seems
area.
like
Believe
there's
it
a
or
lot
not.
of pockets.
What's that?
I said, unfortunately, it seems like there sure are a lot of pockets all over the country.
They do.
Corruption.
Yeah. What do you think, Pebbs?
I'm with you. You know, I'm down with.
Okay. Yeah. I
These
don't.
peaks made my heart burst when I saw this video. I thought it was just me.
I'm outraged.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely pissed. This is something that I have seen over and over and over, but I can't. I'm almost kind of speechless in a way. I just can't believe the rage in people is getting worse. And I agree with you 100% on you. There's a certain amount of FBI that we can trust.
Right.
Yeah, I don't trust anybody 100%.
Just a little bit.
Don't get me wrong.
It might be
they're
time that
all
the
bad.
Department of Right. And I think it might be time that the Department of Justice steps in and goes and sees what the fuck is going on in the Northwest.
Yes.
Because and that's an area that they really need to watch. I mean, for many reasons, different countries and shit. National security reasons.
Yeah. Yes.
So I
We've
have
got
a
all
feeling it's
kinds
going to
of
be brought
national
to his
security
attention.
problems.
Right.
Yes.
Well, they
All right,
were
let's
well
keep-
aware of it, in my opinion.
Well, that's where I don't know. I don't know if they're aware of their own being corrupt. You know what I'm saying? I think like the top of the I don't think the top of the Department of Justice. What's his name? I can't think of his name right now. But I think he's pretty good. I think, and I think he's an honest man. But the FBI is a big organization. I mean, it's huge.
Exactly. We need some authentic leadership, and we don't have it. Very much of it.
Right. Well, I think that's probably going to change, and I think this case is bigger than people think it is, and
Right.
if you don't think Washington isn't watching this, you're sadly mistaken.
This leads right into Washington. I mean, this is going all
That's
over.
what I was
the
going
place.
to
Corruption
say.
can happen
Yeah.
anywhere.
Washington
any
is where the other FBI, the corrupt FBI, is.
Right, and that's what they need to figure out those pockets, because I do believe there is pockets in the FBI that are corrupt.
Yes, I believe it extends to Colorado and Montana as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Everywhere.
No
Any
doubt.
kind of
Yeah.
extremist group and any kind of organization, there's going to be corruption.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. Yeah.
For
I
us
agree.
to sit back and
Yep.
act like it doesn't exist is just ignorance and being naive. That's us
Right.
causing our own problems by ignoring it.
I
Right.
agree. Yeah. All right. Well, keep her going.
Just how tough it can be to pin down these extremist types in court. The case against Rousseau, the leader, represented a significant episode in the system's struggle against white nationalist extremism. Despite the group's overt actions aimed at disrupting a gay pride event in Coeur d'Alene, procedural errors, evidentiary issues, and judicial decisions led to the dismissal of all charges against Rousseau.
Detailing the known presence of Patriot Front in the community at least a year ago. Patriot Front is a group with white nationalism ties.
Today, a nonprofit by the name of Property of the People released detail the hate group's presence in the city and on the North Idaho College campus last year. Now, the first report mentioning the hate group dates back to May 2021. According to public records, NIC staff started noticing stickers and vandalism referencing the hate group on campus, and they reported it to police. Now, reports of these stickers continued to come in throughout the summer months. One email from a city maintenance worker even says he removed 15 stickers from McEwen Park. Now, this tells us the city and Coeur d'Alene Police Department were at least aware of the group trying to establish a presence in Coeur d'Alene last year. But the records show no indication that police knew about the group's plans to riot on June 11th during the Pride celebration event. That said, the Kootenai County
And the third stop. Okay. What do you girls think? Make sure your mics are unmuted. What do you think about does this have anything?
This is like sticker gate on a whole other level.
Exactly. And do you think it has anything to do with the Idaho 4 case?
Yes.
Could it?
Personally, I really do.
Absolutely.
I think these different groups all seeking power with extreme views, and there's quite a few of them in that area, can cause friction that can lead to something like this.
Right.
100%.
You know, hoping
And I
one
believe
group
that
will take the blame, or they can pin it on somebody else and create chaos, and that's exactly what's happened.
And I believe that there has been some influential people in Idaho that has influenced these young kids. I also believe they were groomed for certain situations, and one of them was what went down with Idaho 4, in my opinion.
Well, when I first watched Sneak Peeks, she did a little bit of a video that showed Maddie and her boyfriend that were part of a white supremacist group.
Yes.
Wow.
Do you remember what that was?
That's when we were discovering Sneak Peeks. She showed the video where Joe was, using his Coke can like a camera. And then there was a video right around that time that she showed about the white supremacy. And she showed where Maddie and her boyfriend went to a gathering of them in that area. I don't know if it was Moscow or up there in Coeur d'Alene, if I'm saying these cities right.
Yeah, I won't even say their name because their name disgusts me.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
I'm not saying their names either.
They've made
that name
so in
disgusts
Boston, here in my neck of the woods.
It's a misrepresentation of what patriotism is, and the total opposite of what everybody has died for in this country. Our veterans, especially World War II.
Right.
That wasn't any fucking game.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And there's something I want to hear more information on this.
Of a U-Haul trying to play army, like that's some real life shit.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I want to find out more information before I make a decision on if it's involved or not with the Idaho 4.
Be careful. I'll flood your inbox.
All right.
I'm not even lying.
Yeah, it'd take me a while to get there right now, even.
2 minutes later, you'll have all the links up there going, what happened?
I think there is one particular individual that has a lot of influence upon that town and also the fraternity on the white, the nationalist issue. Through some of my investigating that I've done, and I'll get to that later on that. I won't say it right now, but yeah.
All right.
There's several in that area that are characters that fit this, but I think I have a feeling I know who you're talking about.
I think you do. Loud and clear.
Okay, well, we'll keep her moving. We haven't even made it halfway through yet. I keep stopping.
I was gonna say, who's got the drums for the drum roll here?
Right. There's been an increase in hate group discussions and presence online in the last 2 years. Tony Stewart with the task force says they didn't know about the plans of the 31 men who ended up being arrested from the back of a U-Haul, but they knew something was brewing. The task force recently held a meeting with local leaders who were asking to rally the community against hate groups, something similar to what the task force did in the late 90s when the Aryan Nation marched through town.
Richard Butler was an aerospace engineer who retired in the mid-70s and moved to North Idaho with his wife, Betty. They bought some property and later changed the mortgage and the deed to Church of Jesus Christ Christian, tried to make their land, their property, a nonprofit church. And that was basically the birth of the Aryan Nations. And by 1981, they burned the first cross there on the property and started holding annual Aryan World Congresses.
Richard Butler was not a person that was dynamic, and he was not a great speaker, but he was quite effective at publicity. And so he was able to get a lot of publicity, not only with national media, but even at times international media. And so they would come, and he would do 2 things a year that would draw media. Oftentimes in April, he would have a Racist Skinhead Youth Conference. And then in July, he'd have his so-called World Congress of the Aryan Nations. And he would draw about 300 in the mid-'80s of that each year. They'd come from Canada and all over the United States.
Butler believed in what he called the territorial imperative, that white people should flock to the Northwest and that they should leave the Southwest to Hispanic folks and the Southeast to Black people, and I guess the Northeast to Jews. He had this idea that somehow the country, the United States, could be somehow parceled up into different regions where different races and ideologies could live with their like-minded individuals and people with the same color skin and the same belief system. And initially there was a lot of disgust, but there was also a lot of people just didn't want to register an opinion. As long as they don't bother me, I'm not going to bother them. And So they sort of wanted to look the other way, and it's like, well, they're not affecting my lifestyle or my family, so let them do what they want up on their hillside.
The Kootenai County Task Force on Human Relations came out of an incident that took place in Hayden, Idaho in December 1980. And it was an incident in which a Jewish restaurant owner was targeted by what was then the Aryan nations. In the first week of February 1981, we met at the First Christian Church and created what has become known as the Kootenai County Task Force on Human Relations, which will next February be 33 years old.
A lot of individuals from throughout the country would, for example, get out of prison. They would hear about Butler, and they would come to Butler's compound from places like Arizona or Texas or wherever, and would live for a short period of time in a bunkhouse that he had there. And he also had an office and a printing press. They would print leaflets. And one of the first things that we saw a lot of were leafleting of neighborhoods in Coeur d'Alene and in Spokane. And they'd print these racist leaflets. Sometimes they would just drop them on the doorsteps, put them under windshields, and people would wonder who's doing this? Why are they distributing this racist literature? And a lot of it would come back to the Aryan nations.
But anti-fascists are also showing some concern with the FBI just sitting on their hands, as he said. That's his way of saying the FBI ain't doing shit. Drop the ball. But the broader issue may be the law enforcement hierarchy in Idaho and where the capabilities of these resources and local prosecutorial teams are dwarfed by the scale and complexity of national extremism.
The Idaho Senate has approved a bill defining domestic terrorism as activities done in cooperation with foreign groups. The Idaho Capital Sun reporting Senate Bill 1220 Poverty Law Center says in 2022 it tracked 21 hate and anti-government groups in Idaho. Opponents say the main concern is associating domestic terrorists with a foreign entity.
Governor Brad Little is sending state police to the Texas-Mexico border to, quote, assist with securing our nation's border. Governor Little issued a proclamation today naming January Idaho Stands with Texas in Securing the Nation's Border Month. Idaho will send 2 teams of Idaho State Police troopers down south. Little says they will, quote, learn the best tactics to respond to those who smuggle and abuse vulnerable people.
There's this place in Texas, okay, that's a very popular migrant position, and it's called Shelby Park, and it has turned into something straight out of a movie scene. This park, where folks used to kick back and play some golf and enjoy some outdoors, is now occupied by state forces attempting to prevent U.S. border agents access. They want to keep the feds off of state property and keep the feds from enforcing the United States immigration laws. This means incarcerating those who break immigration law and allowing those who are simply needing help the opportunity for asylum, or at least to apply for such. Operation Lone Star initiative to deter illegal crossing and asylum-seeking migrants by employing extensive physical barriers and law enforcement personnel, including Texas National Guard members and state troopers. Some even deployed from states like Florida, and guess what? What? What do you mean you don't know? Yeah, you do. It's Idaho.
The body is discovered along buoys installed by Texas authorities in the Rio Grande. Overnight, 2 people found dead in the southern part of the Rio Grande River. One of the bodies found stuck in the barriers installed last month by Texas Governor Greg Abbott. While authorities are still investigating, they say the cause of death and nationality of the victims is unknown. The Department of Justice is now suing the state of Texas and Governor Abbott, claiming the red buoys, tethered to the bottom of the river with heavy cable wire, violate several international treaties and Mexico's sovereignty.
The state's National Guard blocking U.S. Border Patrol agents from a crucial boating ramp in Eagle Pass. We know 3 migrants drowned in the Rio Grande after help could not reach them in time. Now, the federal government taking the fight to the Supreme Court right now.
New barriers now are blocking Border Patrol agents from getting into the park and accessing a boat ramp they need to reach the Rio Grande River. Today, Democratic Congressman Henry Cuellar tweeting that 3 migrants, a female adult, and 2 children drowned in the Rio Grande after Border Patrol personnel were denied access to the park to render aid.
Quote, the only thing we're not doing is we're not shooting people who come across the border because, of course, the Biden administration would charge us with murder, he said, as though he shouldn't be charged with murder for that. What the?
When I said, hey, I'm going to grad school in Idaho, everybody's like, are you sure? Like, what part of Idaho? I'm like, Moscow. Are you sure?
That's graduate student Katie Turner, a Louisiana native. A social media post saying she doesn't feel safe as a Black woman in Moscow went viral last year. Idaho's ban on public schools teaching critical race theory, which examines racism as a systemic problem, has further strained Turner's sense of belonging here. People like Doug Wilson also complicate how marginalized groups feel about Moscow.
If you read through slave narratives, you're going to get accounts that are blood-chillingly horrific. You will also get accounts of former slaves who loved their masters.
The conservative pastor is thriving in Moscow with churches, a classical Christian school, a liberal arts college, and a publishing house.
House Bill 377, an act relating to dignity and non-discrimination in public education.
House Bill number 377
passed overwhelmingly.
So we transmitted to the Senate.
And made the teachings of tenets, often found in critical race theory, illegal in Idaho.
Critical race theory demonizes white kids for being white. It teaches that whiteness is a privilege and something students should feel guilty about and apologize for.
University of Idaho law professor says she was discriminated against because of her gender and race, and then faced retaliation after she reported her concerns. The Idaho Statesman says that Shakira Sanders filed a lawsuit in federal court on Wednesday against the University of Idaho, its law school, and a former dean. Sanders says that former dean Mark Adams started a pattern of disparate terms and conditions of her employment when she was hired as dean back in 2014. The lawsuit outlines the discrepancies between the treatment of Sanders and white male professors. The University of Idaho has declined to comment on the lawsuit.
Idaho's abortion ban can now go into full effect. The court overturned a pause on a part of the abortion ban. The U.S. Justice Department says Idaho law.
Stop number 4. This
good part.
The scary part of this is that this is coming to a town near you.
I got news for you.
That's
it's already
the
there.
Scary part. Right. Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, they're trying to do this across the United States.
Yeah, and I just want to clarify, Big Mike, that's not what she was saying, that it was unsecure. She was just saying Brad Little had sent some ISP officers to help if needed. That's all that was said.
Say that again.
Oh, Big Mike had said in the chat that he thought the reference that Neeks Peaks made about ISP agents being sent to the border meant that it was going with that mainstream media of it being unstable and not in control. But that's not what was said. It was just reassuring them that was something different.
Right. Yeah. And yeah, I got a lot to say on that too. And actually the Biden administration and the Mexican president or whatever had a meeting, and ever since then it has felt like way down, people going across and all that, and you don't hear that part. you don't hear that it is. That's why the truckers, I don't even know if the truckers are there anymore. That went right down the shitter, because it was after that big meeting between the Mexican president and the Biden administration.
Well, you know what's going around right now because of the politics. They're pushing this right now, and that's the mainstream narrative. That's what everybody is going with. But if you actually look at it, it's, in my opinion, pretty under control.
Yeah, it is.
As of now, they're a little late to the table with that, but
right, yeah, and it is a hard issue there. But we can't just shut the doors. But we also, at the same time, have to. It's a very complex issue, because we have national security to think about. So I understand some of that stuff,
Yeah, and they've already got an issue because the ones they've let in, they have not kept track of who's where. Our court systems are bogged down. So we got to get caught up on what we've got now, and before we can really do anything else.
The rhetoric is really heavy. Like, what was it? Those 2 illegal aliens that just killed somebody, and the country is all on that. Well, that's 2, but how many died from Americans killing Americans?
Yeah,
that same day. So,
the same amount of attention, not just during election year,
Yeah, and that's what I was a little leery about going into this, because I didn't want to get to the political side of it, but it's really hard to do this part of the case, and this could have. I want to hear more, but this definitely could have something to do with the Idaho 4 case. Very
in my
strongly.
opinion, this is a big issue that we've all been trying to ignore because it's a hard one to address, and it creates a lot of tension. People are passionate about it, but to be real, we have to look it in the face and call it what it is.
Yep.
If we just ignore it, we're enabling that behavior.
And history repeating itself.
And I'm not down with that.
Right. Yeah. A few different ways, history repeating itself.
Exactly. Yeah. We need to learn our lesson and be better.
And learn it. Right.
Really.
Move on. Learn
we
and
don't
move
need to
on and
learn it with lives anymore.
And teach our young ones about what we've experienced, just as our parents have taught us. You know what I mean?
Better.
Because, right. I mean, most of the World War II people are gone now.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Greatest generation.
And you know, I think they should interview these people and get their stories down. And you know, I hate to say
because
it, but
unfortunately, it's already happened where people are starting to either forget that or not be taught about that. And then there's people out there that are even denying it happened altogether. So we can't let their memories, those lives, those voices be silenced. It has to continue. And we're the ones that continue that.
I agree 1,000%.
Well,
Okay, let's keep her going. We're almost gone here.
Law violated the Emergency Medical Treatment and Labor Act, also known as EMTALA.
President Biden specifically mentioned the new policy at the University of Idaho, which forbids employees from talking about abortion or talking about reproductive rights, warning them in an email they could face a felony for promoting it under Idaho's new laws. This is what the president said when talking about U of I.
Folks, what century are we in? I mean, what are we doing? I respect everyone's view on this, personal decisions they make, but my Lord, we're talking about contraception here. It shouldn't be that controversial. I've asked Education Secretary Cardona to look at the steps that we can take to protect college students and school employees in Idaho or other states where their access to contraception is at risk.
President Biden signed 2 executive orders that take a number of actions to help a woman access reproductive health care, as well as fight that battle in court.
And I saw the baby on the screen, I knew something was wrong.
12 weeks into Jen Adkins' pregnancy, she and her husband John got devastating news. Their baby had Turner syndrome, a chromosomal disorder. The longer the pregnancy continued, Jen's doctors told her, the higher the risk she had for developing life-threatening high blood pressure.
I wanted to be pregnant. I wanted to have this baby, but she wasn't going to live, and my health was at risk too.
Jen and John are Idahoans through and through. John's family goes back 6 generations.
They said, well, because you're in the state of Idaho, we cannot provide a termination for you. We cannot provide an abortion.
In 2020, lawmakers here in Idaho passed a trigger ban, which would essentially ban abortion in almost all circumstances if Roe v. Wade got overturned. Of course, that happened in June of 2022, so the abortion ban went into effect. Now it's illegal in Idaho to get an abortion in almost all circumstances. One of the few exceptions is to save the life of the person who's pregnant.
There's no exception for a circumstance like Jen's, where her health was at risk, but her life was not immediately threatened.
Much like the last few years, there have been a series of bills brought forth this year having to do with the LGBTQ plus community.
I have people, friends in this community who have traveled to Mexico, and they say, people who were from Moscow, and immediately they want to talk about this case.
Okay, there we are. Whoops. Whoop, 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 whoop. There we go.
I was gonna say I didn't hit a button. I don't think.
All kinds of little weird shit happens back here.
No
That's all I
kidding.
can say.
It's so weird being back here.
Right, Randy. I know, and this is a hard subject to bring up, and I don't want to like lose mods over it or anything like that. It's a tough one, and I commend Nick Speaks for attacking the subject and bringing it up. I really do.
Respect
I
to
do
take it
too.
there because that takes some balls.
It does take some,
Right.
and also exposing the Christ Church. I know that's a touchy subject, but it needs to be
Right. It is.
exposed because
That's
this
another one.
Kind of
man,
extremist view, in my opinion.
And
this
all
if
bad.
you watch some of this man's videos,
Oh, it's
his
crazy.
energy,
Yeah,
its energy is not. It's
All
off
negative.
off the chart,
Right.
and he needs to be investigated. He needs to be looked at.
Right. Yep. I agree.
And they're just taking over that
I've-
town. That's their goal, though, I guess.
I've posted some of his videos where he burned
Mhm.
down that house and then he burned down that truck.
And they burned down a boat too. But not only
Yeah,
that, he does talk
it was-
about. Not only that, he
I've
does talk
seen
about
that
old
too.
values.
I've seen him. Have you seen him where he's like in these colleges and stuff and talking? And
Yes.
Yeah, they've got
they're
their own
like
college
kind
right
of
there.
yeah, kind of attacking him and stuff. It's kind of funny in a way, in some ways, but not funny in so many ways that people are
That
suckering
in
for.
of itself is exactly the extremist view. When taken, like I said, to the extreme, it gets dangerous.
Yes.
Right.
And he
Yeah.
not only that though, he looks down upon women and he's loud about it.
Very much.
So
very
that's
much.
very dangerous. This is a very dangerous individual. He needs to be looked at.
Yeah.
Well, he can
Yeah,
come
there's
on
more
panel with
going
me.
on.
I guarantee he'd have to shut up eventually.
Uh-huh.
I got lots of
He
stuff I
doesn't
could
want
say
to
to
talk to
him.
me.
No, we would be in trouble. Well, he would be.
No, he would be.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand our First Amendment. We have a right to say what we want, but there's got to be respect, and I don't see that at all coming from him.
And law enforcement, some of law
Yeah.
enforcement there attends his church.
Yes.
So you have some of the police officers that have that mentality that Doug Wilson preaches.
Yes.
Or, I hate to say
And any
preach.
view, I mean, it's not just like Christ Church. It's anything that's got that extreme that puts them or any group of people with power on top or in charge of others, making oppression and things of that nature. That's when it gets dangerous.
Yes, and they're influenced these
Remember
young.
Stickergate? Like this is Stickergate 2.0 on steroids.
Mhm.
Right.
And they're influencing these frats. They're influencing these younger generations, especially this Idaho situation.
Right. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
not
well, they
good.
were they put them on blast with the Stickergate issue. And that's where my whole point of when powers start to collide and everybody's grabbing for that power. And you
powers
have that
collide.
extremist view already. It gets bad. Things like this happen. That's how wars start.
Reminds me of Power Man 5000. When powers collide. Isn't that what it is?
Oh,
or
that's
something?
good. Yeah, no, that you say that. Wow, we're old.
I
Oh,
got
boy.
this Heather commented, Heather Adams Schimmel there. My granddaddy will be 100 years old in October. he's hearing. We love hearing all his war stories and all his memorabilia, whatever, in his war room. Is awesome. Yep. So grateful for him and father. So yeah, you should record some of that. Make sure you get it recorded, Heather, and get him on video. You got to do that, man. You got to do that. Anybody else that has any relatives that have been in World War II and stuff, start talking to them. Get their stories. Get their stories, because it does.
Any of those conflicts that have shaped where we're at now and our future. People gave their lives so that we could do better, and we owe it to them.
And you learn more truth if you learn it from the ones before you than the propaganda that's on TV. Listen to the ones that lived it before you.
Yeah, listen to our elders.
That's truth. How we learn, you know. And what really gets to me is that they're stealing what patriotism is.
Yes,
that's what
they're
gets
making
to
a
me.
mockery of it.
And they're making a mockery of it, and they're like, their name is whatever, you know. They use the P word, you know. I'm not even going to say that.
There's more than one.
No, don't.
Because and that is bullshit. That is total pure bullshit.
100.
And anyone who has family that have done that, you got to respect and thank them for their service, and their families for supporting them during that service. The losses that we've already had, we don't need any more.
No, that's right. Yep, I agree.
Like, there's enough drama on YouTube. Can you imagine?
Right. I'm going to show what Al did for us.
Please, I've been waiting.
Yep, I know. All right, I'm going to do it now. People, this is a trailer designed and created by Albo, and it's for the channel here and what's coming. So let me play this. It's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. So everybody take a peek at this. And what did you think about that? Oops.
I liked it.
That's
Yeah,
our work in
very
its
good
own.
job.
That's something on a whole other level. We can love up on that
Yep.
one.
Yeah.
And this is what's coming to the channel, and I'm hoping it starts coming next week, and it's going to stretch for a long. I don't see any end to this series. I really don't.
Unfortunately,
I am going
wish
to
we could get an
tackle this.
ending.
Yes, we are going to tackle this. We are going to tackle this whole thing.
Yes.
We have to.
Can we get a major shout out though for our girl Elle for
Long
doing all of this
That's right.
Yes.
artistic work? That's awesome. Elle, my hat's off to you.
I know that elbow. You are awesome.
wonderful.
Love you, girl. If you're still here, she's
Send her
probably
some love, guys.
fell
In the
asleep.
chat. You know she's gonna be embarrassed right now. She's gonna be Tommy, what?
Yeah, she's probably hiding. No, but
You
doesn't
can
look
blame
like she
me.
said anything for a while. Doesn't look like she said
There
anything
she
for a
goes.
while.
There she is. I see her.
Is she there? Okay, all right.
Give her some love. 'Cause
Elbow,
she
you are
deserves it. This
awesome.
is art.
Right.
Taking all of that and turning it into
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Love you, girl.
Tommy
I can't do
Juden
something
crow
like
form.
Huh?
That's amazing, isn't it? I said that's Tommy Jude in a crow form. That's perfect.
Yep. Exactly. Yep.
I do like the
And
crow.
I love that.
What other channel has that?
It's
Yeah.
God, I just seen the hat. Okay, I get it. Yeah. I
The
like
only
the
album,
crow.
Yeah.
the only album that ever went international was my one I released in 2018, I think it was. And the name of it's Last Dance of the Crow.
Very fitting,
So, yeah, the
considering.
crow and me. I feed
Does
fed my
everybody
family
kind of know
today.
your story with the crow? Do people know why that's so important?
No, I don't know anything.
No, not really. That I'll keep that with me.
You'll find out.
Okay.
You'll find
All
out.
right. All right.
But I have a family that I feed out here, and I've fed them since shit, like 2012 or something, and they know me, but they're still leery of me. But I love them. They're huge, and I mean, some of them are. I mean, they're huge, and I throw food on the roof because I try to keep it away from the squirrels because it's funny to watch them because I mean it's just crazy. They'll be the squirrel got some of the crow food that one time and the crow.
I had this craziest vision of a crow and a squirrel just going at it right now.
The squirrel was eating like this with his face against the tree, and the crows were trying to.
Oh my gosh!
Trying to circle him and shit, and trying to get him. Here's the squirrel like this.
Yeah, so leave the nuts to the squirrels, poor birds. Oh my goodness! Somebody needs to make that into a meme.
Crows have been special to me since since I was a teenager, and there's reasons for that too.
Yes, I'm with you on that. They're a messenger.
Yep, and they're the smartest.
I got a funny story about a crow. Y'all are gonna laugh your butts off at me, but whatever. There's no reason to change things now, right? So I was in the garage working in overnight. I usually work overnight, so I was in the garage working on a project, which would be my daytime overnight. And it was coming up on spring, and so you could hear the birds earlier. Well, I hadn't heard birds for a while, but I could all of a sudden hear what sounded like we were being invaded from something out of Red Dawn.
Yeah.
On the roof of my garage. And it sounded like flip-flops, like tiny people with flip-flops on, running all over the top of my garage. And I was like, what in the world is that? I was a little freaked out. Like, what's out there right now? Just working myself up. So my neighbor, I text him like, what is on the garage roof right now? It seriously sounded like a million little tiny people with flip-flops. It was a whole shit ton of crows.
The murderer
Not
crows?
one of them was crowing. Not one of them was making a noise. No, when do crows not make any kind of noise?
Wow, that's interesting. That sounds like a
That-
message, Pebbelz.
Actually, a message. I was just gonna say, yeah, that was a message.
That is definitely
what
close.
happened in your life? What happened in your life shortly after that? Because that's a message.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a mess. I was tripping for like an hour. I didn't want to leave the garage.
Sure.
Yeah, that was during COVID.
Anytime that I see a crow, it's a message, either heads up or it's heads up. All the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crows are the only bird that will attack like an eagle or a hawk and just like wait for it to go up above the cloud. Like that takes some balls.
To attack an eagle? Boy, that
Yeah, or
eagles
a hawk
can
maybe
really
even.
damage.
Like, no, thank you.
Well,
okay. Well, let's. I got one other one to go here, and then you got. Did you put a link in the private chat
Yeah.
with that
We
one
did.
way up there? Did you? No, there's nothing up there. There's nothing in there. There's no link in private chat.
Oh.
Private chat. You have to put it in the private chat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll watch this here, and this is from my old friend CJ, and I thought this was pretty interesting. So I thought we'd run this and this is all going to tie in. Everything it seems like is tying in on this. Sometimes things are just meant to be.
We
The
just gotta
show
focus.
starting
He's
out.
doing some good work over there too.
Yeah, we were
He
just
is.
looking at
Doing-
CJ today.
Yeah, and I feel a little bad because this video only got like 222 views, and I thought it was a pretty good video.
It's
He's
amazing.
doing
Please,
good.
guys, go show him some love too.
Yes.
Yeah,
Friend
make
his
sure.
channel.
Yeah, I got him. Everything is in the description, but yeah, mods, make sure that you get these Neek's Peaks and CJ's links into the chat, please. And
We've got
here we
some of
go.
his mods in chat, actually, I believe.
No, okay, good. Yeah, good. Yeah, I wish you'd stop by.
Definitely.
Okay, I'm stopping that. And going to here.
Good morning or late evening, whichever it may be for you. I hope you're having a peaceful, positive, and progressive day. Please hit the like if you haven't yet, and if you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider. So we got a couple more community freezes for you. I want to say shout out to my mod Caddy and shout out to a community member Joanne. I appreciate you. We got two things, even more to cover. Theta Chi Fraternity is no longer recognized by WSU. And check this out, with all this stuff that we're uncovering with the cover, University of Idaho is number 2 safest colleges. We're going to get into both of those things here in this highlight. Thank you again for joining. Now, Theta Chi Fraternity is no longer recognized from WSU because of a hazing incident. And I'm going to read a little article about that after this video. Check this out.
We have some more information for you new tonight at 6 on breaking news. A fraternity
Please consider. So we got a couple more community freezes for you. I want to say shout out to my mod Caddy and shout out to a community member Joanne. I appreciate you. We got two things, even more to cover. Theta Chi Fraternity is no longer recognized by WSU. And check this out, with all this stuff that we're uncovering with the cover, University of Idaho is number 2 safest colleges. We're going to get into both of those things here in this highlight. Thank you again for joining. Now, Theta Chi Fraternity is no longer recognized from WSU because
Okay, I have to stop right there. What kind of fucking joke is that?
Oh my God. It's not. Oh my
What
God.
kind of
I'm
joke is
outraged.
that? Four just got murdered,
No way.
and that's the second safest. Are you fucking serious?
Who
I'm
said
sure.
the safest?
I'm
What?
sure Green
What's the
had
shit?
something to do with that.
Oh, sure he did. His
What
damn
the
self.
shit?
Oh,
Unfucking believable.
I know it.
Of a hazing incident, and I'm going to read a little article about that after this video. Check this out.
We have some more information for you new tonight at 6 on breaking news. A fraternity at WSU is no longer part of the school.
So how is Idaho #2 safest? When you see our uncovering the cover, and I'll be pinning the playlist in the comment section. When you see what we're uncovering, you'll understand why it's considered the #2.
School's Greek system.
Right now, the Theta Chi
Even though all
fraternity
this
is no
goes
longer
on.
formally recognized by the university. Creme 2's chief journalist Amanda Rowley live in the newsroom tonight with what she has uncovered so far. Amanda?
Mark and Whitney, Washington State University told me the fraternity failed to meet this evening's deadline to file a relationship agreement with the school. I started looking into this today after being down in Pullman over the weekend. I saw for myself the chapter house with the windows boarded up and no one coming or going from the house. Now,
They're
this
gone.
follows an investigation into hazing that allegedly led to the suicide death of WSU student Luke Tyler last January. Now, shortly after his death, the university chose to suspend all chapter activities at Theta Chi due to the severity of the pending charges against the chapter. Those charges include hazing, underage drinking, reckless endangerment, and violating university policy. By losing recognition, that means Theta Chi can no longer participate in WSU Greek life activities.
No
WSU
longer.
says the chapter
Board it
can
up.
reapply for recognition only after the school lifts the suspension and pending charges are resolved. But WSU says that's no guarantee the request will be granted. Meantime, Luke Tyler's parents spoke with our sister station in Seattle shortly after their son's death.
And this is the reason why, when we're uncovering the cover, you'll see why everybody over there in Moscow ranks up, gets awards, and gets promoted. But yet, this is just a couple miles away. I'm sorry. When I made my trip to Moscow and Pullman last November, WSU is calm compared to the University of Idaho. #2.
New tonight at 6, we share why they believe hazing contributed to his death.
Is there any doubt in
Listen
your
to
mind
this.
that hazing contributed to your son's death?
Listen to this. Very important.
No.
No.
We
Listen.
Some of you might remember because I ran a show on this, on some of these deaths there in Moscow. Do you guys remember that?
Yes, I recall. Yes, I do.
Yeah. So some of this you've seen before, but it needs to be seen again in this context with what CJ is saying.
The rituals that were part of this fraternity had dangerous components that contributed to his adverse mental and physical health.
And those same rituals ain't going on over at the University of Idaho, and they're ranked the #2. Uncovering the cover. Playlist will be dropped in the comments section.
The Pullman Police Department told me this afternoon it is continuing to investigate whether crimes occurred relating to hazing and providing alcohol to minors. Commander Aaron Brashears also told me there may be criminal charges brought forward. Now, we asked the National Theta Chi International headquarters if the chapter intends to reapply and what will happen to the house in Pullman. They have not yet responded. Now, through my reporting today, I spoke on the phone several times with the WSU spokesperson who confirmed these details with me. I also reached out to Luke Tyler's family, and I'm waiting to hear back. We're going to, of course, keep you updated on this breaking news story as we learn more.
So shout out to my mod Caddy for dropping that video in the chat in our Discord group. Now, this is from Joanne. Shout out, Joanne. WSU fraternity under investigation for hazing. A Washington State University fraternity is under investigation for alleged hazing violation. According to the WSU Hazing Prevention Advisory Committee webpage, The alleged hazing involving the Sigma Nu house occurred on February 3rd. The institution is also investigating the fraternity for alcohol and reckless endangerment violations from the same date. The Sigma Nu house at WSU received a temporary suspension in the fall of 2019 for alcohol violations. The fraternity was shut down by WSU for 3 years in 2007 for hazing. Last month, WSU shut down the Theta Chi fraternity over hazing-related incident. The fraternity was closed following an investigation into the allegations that Theta Chi hazing led to the self-unaliving of student Luke Tyler in January of last year. That house has been suspended until February of 2027. The requirement for WSU to publicly report information online about allegations of Greek row violations is from the state's new SAMS law. The law was crafted in the wake of the passing of WSU student Sam Martinez, who passed away in 2019 of alcohol poisoning following an Alpha Tau Omega party. We broke that to you back then. We broke the news about Maryland, Virginia last week, and now we're breaking this. And you're going to tell me that the University of Idaho is number 2? We're going to get to that next. So right here, study names University of Idaho number 2 in top 15 safest colleges in America list. 2 Idaho college campuses claim number 2 and number 3 spots in national study ranking the top 15 safest colleges in America. Really? Moscow, Idaho, the University of Idaho was ranked number 2 for America's safest universities by Academic Data Analytic Group. Academic Influence AI, Brigham Young University campus in Rexburg, Idaho, also made the list, coming in at number 3. According to AI, University of Idaho in Moscow, Idaho achieved such an admirable ranking due to its lower than average property and violent crime rates, among other considered metrics such as campus security features and mental health services. Do you see why, when we're going through the uncovering the cover, from the beginning of the highlights to the lives, as we continue to uncover new things every moment, every episode, every highlight, does this not make more sense to you now with the stuff that I'm coming to you about uncovering the cover and everything that we're showing you? Do the delays not make sense now? When I tell you that it's not just MPD like we've thought for the last year and a half, that was rank up easy, no reports. No, everybody. You keep the bad calls down all over the place. Keep the volume up. Bad calls down. Funding, ranking, awards, donations, influence, all go sky high. University of Idaho ranked number 2 in America's safest universities. Please hit the like if you haven't yet. If you're not subscribed, please consider doing so and come hang out with us in a live. Appreciate your support, peace, positivity, and progress.
All right. Yeah, that
Shout out to Tommy and Rory and all those people that were pulling that up long ago.
Long time ago. Yeah.
Y'all were on it.
Dago. Yep. We were all there.
Yep.
Yeah. But it's time to bring it even to the forefront. I think even more so now. All this stuff. It's just, I can't believe they're getting away with what they get away with. What? How are they getting away with all this shit?
You might not be getting away with it for much longer. I mean, you can only hide for so long.
I guess I don't understand. Why do we have to haze? What's the importance of that?
Right.
Show power.
No, it's something.
Mhm.
Isn't that like
It's a
a
ritual.
Greek
It's a way to make them
thing?
do what they want you to do.
Yeah,
see
I think it should
loyalty
all be
of
tossed
it.
out. I think that the whole Greek system should be tossed aside.
Yes.
Boy,
Just
I don't
it's
know.
gotten way out of hand. It's not
It has.
Animal House anymore. You know what I mean?
Right.
Animal House on a different level.
It's not even close to it. These people
More
are
like
dying
the
left and
84
right.
Animal House.
All right. Yeah.
It's in the military
I
too,
don't know.
Bonnie. Yep, any kind of group like that. It's in
It
Hollywood.
is, but
Think about it.
Right.
but now there's more control now through that through the military.
Right.
There
And the
needs to be
hazing
more
part.
control of that
There's
all
control
over. I
over
think
that
it's,
now.
yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they use
I'm
that.
looking at some of the
Scientology is another one
stuff
that's
here.
big right now, using the same tactics.
I was weird
That was a
watching these.
really high pitched ding.
Disappearance in Moscow. Oh yeah, I've seen that. We ran a story on that disappearance too. Can't remember the name, or I can't remember it all now. All right, and Terry Martin, she brings out a good point there too. She always does. I like looking at chat
Right,
once in a while just to see what's going on. You know,
Mm-hmm.
How
what
are all
people
these
are
kids
thinking.
being hazed,
Yeah.
drinking and doing God knows what else?
Does
Ending up
anybody have any
drowning in a
questions?
dry drowning. That's insane. You're never going to convince me of that.
Right. It's
What's
kind of like
that?
buy a friend, want to fit in. What a way to go.
I mean,
Oh,
they make you do crazy things, drink an obscene amount of alcohol, and then let you die, drop you on your head as they're
right.
bringing you to the hospital at the very last minute. That's not friends.
Right. Oh,
Yeah.
God. No.
Definitely not people that you should pledge your life away to.
Exactly. And
I'm
they
good
are
on my
doing
own,
it.
thanks.
I mean, look what
It's
happened to
awful.
Ethan because he disagreed.
It's
Could be any one of us.
that something really awful happened there, and I'm telling you, it's at Linda Lane. I'm telling you,
I'm with you on that.
Yeah,
it's
hit it.
real, and it's
Bad
true.
one. They went from
And now
in-laws to
I don't know if
lumber
Rollo was in here still or not, but remember when I just ran his video
barons.
like a couple of times ago, and
Right.
I mean, look what you could see with his stuff. You
Right.
could see what Billy was seeing with her own eyes.
Yes.
Because she was telling me that shit. And I mean, she talked about that fucking orange monkey. And I was like, okay, girl.
You
I don't
know
know.
what, Tommy? You have to see one of the true crime killer. One of those videos, you could see Jack D again. Jack D seems to show up all the time in these videos. Yeah, I thought you were home sleeping, dude.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
I think there is so many people involved, but you know what? I also think that Ann Taylor might be on this shit.
I think so too.
Because when she says she's got 400 witnesses to go through,
yep,
she doesn't mean that 400.
Everybody's looking at something different. Everybody's looking at this or that or no. It's fucking Linda Lane. I guarantee you, it's the fight.
It can't have it both ways. You can't say that people are scared
Fight.
to talk and then claim that there's 400 witnesses. You can't have it both ways.
Right. Yeah. Well, the thing is,
I don't
she
think
says
it's
she has to
400.
go
Didn't
through
she
those
meant like
400.
that?
She has to
Those
go through those
instances.
400. I think she
Yeah,
just
part of that, though,
found
people
us shit
listen.
out, and she has to go through 400 people deposition.
She can't
See
even
what
get
I'm saying?
discovery right now.
Right.
Like those 400 included all of the innocence phase. So that was all of 3 generations. Remember, she said that, and people didn't hear that when she said it, of his family tree. That's a lot of people.
Right. Yeah. That
Because
is.
if it was really a fraternal order in this kind of gang mentality, you're not going to talk on your people. You're not going to have 400 people.
No, they're not
come
going
out.
to. Nope. That's this. This is
But the
why.
thing is, out of 400, Oh, out of 400, it only takes one.
It only takes
someone
one.
has had to talk by now.
And,
Someone has had to speak up.
if one breaks, some are going to follow.
Oh,
You
I
know
would
what
like
I'm
it's just
saying?
some discovery. We can't get no pings right now. Like, that's ridiculous.
Right. I'm getting pings.
Somebody's getting pinged.
Yep.
Did you see Fallon's comment, Tommy?
Elbows
She's
work
like,
hard.
yeah,
She's
I went
going
from
night-night.
Animal House to Hunger Games.
Good night, my girl.
Who's going to bed?
Okay, so let's watch this other one that Leah, you sent it, right? Was it you that did this? Yeah. Okay.
The
let's
links
take a
and
peek at this. Yeah, and this should be a good one too. So
it's CJ.
Yep, I see that. Which one is it? It's this one.
It's only like
All right, here we
20-something
go.
minutes.
Right.
Well, I wanted to share a couple things. This is gotta say community freeze, because we're going to be sharing some things here real quick before we get into some more of the kids stuff. This is Uncovering the Cover continued, and I want to say shout out to Nina Kelly for the next few, and then we got a couple more shout outs as well. Isn't this interesting though? Grandmaster Fry. Who's Fry, huh? What?
Mm-hmm.
What's up, Tom?
Grandmaster.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
But this is Grandmaster Fry, Harry L. Fry. Harry L. Grandmaster Fry. It's like, oh, that's interesting. This is another one because we've been talking about Christchurch stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
Because I believe it all kind of intertwines together. And this is from DougWilsonBelieves.com. Doug Wilson. Now, we've heard all the crazy ass shit that he's come out with before. Some of the stuff we've even played. We had a show where one of the survivors that left what she considers a cult, described and everything. And, you talk to people that are from there, and if they're intermingled with this organization, I mean, it's a lot of the same stories, and that's why I was even talking to Nina Kelly, shout out to her again for this stuff. I was even talking to her a little bit ago, and I was like, yeah, it was kind of like when I was discussing even the incel theory from Queen Road Apartments, but maybe it wasn't from Queen Road. Maybe it was, people from this particular organization, whether it was one or a group. And, I kind of gave my reasons as to, where I think that would be plausible. And so when it comes to this stuff too, definitely, I mean, look at this right here. Women who misinterpret scripture should be called C's.
Yeah, this kind of stuff right here triggers the heck out of me, CJ. I mean, I might be on my soapbox before it's over, but this, I'm going to hold back. I'm sure there'll be plenty more opportunities, but I'm going to tell you, it triggers me.
Oh, you should.
Bad.
Some of the when we first started, because when we first started getting into the church about a year ago, I'm just going to say organization. When we first started getting into the organization about a year ago, that's when we started like going through some of the sermons, because I'm sitting there, I'm like, I don't want to sit there, and especially like sermons and shit, right? I'm going to watch that shit first. There's a lot of stuff I like to leave fresh, but stuff like that, you know what I mean? I'm not going to sit there and expect people to watch a half an hour or something, be like, what the fuck is this? So
yeah.
I checked
it ain't God.
out.
That's what it ain't.
Right. I checked it out before I started getting into it a year ago. I checked out some of the sermons and I was like, what the fuck is this shit? This is 2023. Like, you're sitting there and you're talking about women in schooling and women in their job occupations, women and like all of these restrictions, and it's like I'm sitting there watching an episode of How to Treat Your Damn Wife and from 1940. You know what I mean? And I'm like, what the hell is this shit, yo? Like, there's women. We're not saying that women only belong in the kitchen, but that's what we try and
Yeah,
And
it's
it's
a
like,
good thing I wasn't born back then. I'm just saying.
It's like, what kind of sermon is this shit?
Exactly.
So when it comes to this, I'm not fucking surprised. I'm not whatsoever.
Even that does surprise me, and I am in a very misogynistic area. The South is traditionally kind of that way. We're getting more out of it now, but even this is even worse.
Mm-hmm. And Nina Kelly, you're damn straight.
Less than 3,000 people. And the amount of money that goes through a certain church, dear Jesus.
Yes, it's no
per
lie.
year. And so you're like, okay, if you took all of the paychecks of all of these 3,000 people, you still can come up with those funds. So what the heck are you doing? How are you making money? I'll bet I know. I'm going to leave it at that.
All I'm gonna watch, just go to the video that we did. It's got to be like a couple weeks ago where there was a survivor that escaped. And when you hear that, because I talk about a lot of other stuff in that episode when it comes to talking to others too. So definitely check out that episode and you'll see exactly what we're saying here. When it comes to this is something else that was interesting. Shout out to Nina Kelly again. Mark Rosendahl, guess whose dad that is a chaplain at the Christ Church.
This, trying to hold my tongue, trying not to explode on your show, CJ.
Just hold on. So, Mark Rosendahl is chaplain at Christ Church in Moscow. You can see this. That's the family, the son, Nathaniel. Okay. Nathaniel, right? Who's Nathaniel? Nathaniel is Moscow PD, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mark Rosendahl's Facebook. There's Nathaniel right there. When it comes to this church, right? We played this video a long time ago, and I want to say thank you to Nina Kelly for this. So shout out to Nina Kelly. We're going to be getting to some other shout outs here in a few. Now, this is an episode that we played a long time ago when we started to get into it. Okay. And this discusses how the pastor there wants to make Moscow a Christian town. Now, they only have 10% of the population, okay, which roughly is about 2,000 people, okay? Now, when there's other stories that we've talked about on the show with others that have been part of churches that were 1,500 to 2,000 people, you saw how they were treated when they spoke out, not only social media wise, but also in present. Because the thing is, and this is what everybody has to understand what's different about this church or organization over here in Moscow, okay? When it comes to this organization, if anybody's familiar with the Amish, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Amish don't mingle. Well, they're not supposed to.
Right.
They're not supposed to mingle with the outside public unless it's for business or whatever their religion states they can, right? And it's almost the same way, but this is way stricter. This is part of an organization that, so think how small Moscow and Pullman's bubble is. Think of how small Moscow's bubble is, just being only 20 to 30,000. Okay. Very small bubble. Because when you look above, these are the two largest towns, and it's a bunch of frickin' blinking light, one stoplight towns for miles. I mean, for miles, okay? So you're talking, this is a bubble already. And when you're talking about that small bubble, that's only 20 to 30,000. And the organization is its own bubble within that bubble. They don't want you to do anything or have anything to do with outside of that bubble. That's why they have their own congregation, they have their own schools, they have their own everything, so that way they can keep that bubble the way that it is, because the last thing they want anybody to do, just like anybody else in Idaho, northern Idaho, the last thing they want anybody to do is for somebody else to come in with some radical ideas that's going to shake how they've done things for generations.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing goes with this organization. Same thing. So not only that small bubble of Moscow that you can compare to any 20 to 30,000 populated town in the United States.
Right.
That's within, that's a good distance away from another city. Then that church is its own bubble. So this is like literally, so they're secluded. And they can right, crime solver, they can control anything within the bubble. So when you listen to this and you see everything that we've been talking about, when it comes to not only these episodes where we've discussed it, you mix it in with the incel theory, you mix it in with uncovering the cover, because you have to. This is all linked together. What's up, Floral Ticket 71? It's all linked together. Just like we thought, what's up, Sky? What's up, you? Just like we thought for the last year and a half that MPD was the only organization there that was the no report rank up. But then we start digging into stuff and it's like, no, it's not just MPD, it's the fire department, it's 911, it's the EMS, it's the fraternities, it's everything. And that's why they have such control, because if you're the first person that doesn't pat the other person on the back stands out like a sore thumb.
Mm-hmm.
And they get rid of your ass real quick. So when we're checking this out, just have that in your mind while you're hearing him saying what he's saying, because it's going to be even more powerful than if I would have just played this to you and you just heard what he said. Check it out.
A battle without bullets over the direction of a town.
I believe that what's happening in Moscow is a microcosm of what's happening all across the country that started here maybe 10.
So CJ's got, if you guys haven't subbed up to CJ, definitely sub up to him. Leave some links there, mods, to CJ's channel. He's been really pumping out some good stuff, and he's definitely worth subbing up to and watching his videos. We've been friends a long time, and I know, we always have the respect of, I don't go to his channel and try to take people out to go to my channel in 20 minutes. I don't do things like that. I don't do things like that. I don't go into other people's channels and say, hey, I got a fucking chat going on here in 20 minutes. I'll meet you there.
Yeah, stop doing that. That's not cool.
No, that's not very cool. And I don't do that to CJ, and CJ's never done that to me. So, and anyway, he's got some really good stuff out. Actually, for quite a while, he's been pumping out some really good videos. I watch him all the time. So,
is the Nina Kelly that I see on your screen? Is she the one that sent CJ this info?
Yes, ma'am.
Who?
Some of it.
Oh.
Nina Kelly?
Yeah, some of
Oh,
it.
Nina Kelly. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, cool.
Joanne sent them some. Katie that's in here sent, I mean, they work hard over there, just like we work hard over here.
Yeah.
They're good. Go show them some love, for real.
Yeah. Kib Kitty, I haven't seen you in quite a while. Good to see you. Good to see people that you haven't seen for a while.
Good people.
All right.
Good
so,
peoples.
yeah. Good people's out here. All right, here we go.
15 years earlier than what's happening across the country.
And that is?
Well, just the radical division. I don't think our nation has been this divided since 1859. It's divided and it's inflamed. And that whole process, I think, began to be visible here a decade or a decade and a half before it became radically visible in the nation as a whole.
Pastor Doug Wilson leads Christ Church in what he calls a Cold War civil war.
Our rights come to us from God and not from the government.
Fighting in, of all places, a college town. Moscow, home to University of Idaho and just 8 miles from Washington State University, exudes a live and let live vibe. One of the interesting things about Moscow is how these two entities live side by side, and I mean literally. Right behind me, that's the offices of the Christ Church. And right next door is the headquarters for the local Democratic Party.
What's up,
From
Jason?
this former art house movie theater, Wilson leads his campaign to make Moscow a Christian town.
Idaho is a very red state. Moscow's
What's up,
was
Gal?
historically a very blue dot in this red state. And so consequently, the fact that we've done this has been disruptive in the minds of some, but the feasibility of
Yeah, they sued the police over that.
evangelizing in Moscow
And won.
had to do with the importance
Wow.
of the university and
Yeah.
the size of the town.
So in your version of a Christian town,
Yeah, we watched the whole demonstration that they were doing, and when they got arrested and all sorts of stuff, that is what they used to sue the police department. It was a total stage. It's for power.
Yeah.
It's for power. It's what it is.
I want to know who was paid.
It's what it is. It's for power, and they're they were more powerful than the PD at that particular time. It was crazy. Yeah.
would there be
Trying to take
a
over.
place for non-believers?
Oh, absolutely.
Would
Yeah.
there be a place for
Really?
same-sex couples?
But you mean legally?
Yes.
You mean like marriage?
What's up,
no,
Yeller?
no marriage.
Hello.
But there'd be
Hey, Ellie. Hi.
same-sex couples.
No marriage, even though it's the law of the land in the United States.
Just like Roe used to be, right? In
Wow.
my belief system, in our doctrinal stand, and what we believe the Bible teaches, homosexuality is not only a choice, but a sinful one. Yes.
It is a muscular, masculine-led vision of Christianity.
Scripture tells the man to provide, protect, and love. Scripture tells the woman to honor, help, and submit.
Expounded on his show Man Rampant
Men are going to be dominant no matter what you do.
and articulated in
What
his
the
blogs.
fuck?
This one saying marriage is
Oh
a
my
little
God.
kingdom and the husband is a little.
Yeah, you little all right. You got that part right.
Oh, wow. Well, you know what? I got some res girls over here that would like to talk to this gentleman.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
I am.
Step up,
I
little
told
boy.
ya he's
You
against
need to talk
women.
to.
This man needs to be investigated. Period. I'm pissed at this. I can't stand this guy. Oh,
Yeah, little man syndrome for sure.
you just
Like,
wait.
damn.
No,
I
I
don't
love
even
this.
know.
Got the girls wound up now.
I got some place you need to visit, I think.
Yeah.
There's a hornet's nest.
You wish it's hornets.
What a bunch of old ideas, you jackass. And I'm
He
being
says
nice
he's
right
a
now.
little king. Yeah. He's got a little man syndrome.
Jackie,
That's the
look at
problem.
Jackie. Look at Jackie. What year is this fuckster living in?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. He's hiding his identity. He couldn't even look at this lady that's not speaking with him. He couldn't even look at her in the eye. Everything had to be from side of his face, side of his eyes. What a bunch of
Why is
crap.
that?
He's hiding behind this church
Because
stuff.
he's afraid.
Yes.
That's
He's gonna get exposed.
insecurity
I'm telling
right
you.
there.
Yep. This
Well, he
man
likes
will
to
get
expose
exposed.
himself. He thinks he's real cute.
Oh,
He's all
yes,
about
he does.
himself.
No, he will get exposed more than what he really realizes. It's coming.
Him and expose his little man syndrome too.
Right? Yeah, that's just crazy as fuck, man.
More ways than one exposing.
And that's what I'm scared about with this country is that we're going backwards.
Yes. I know it's terrible.
And I don't get it. I don't get it.
If we allow it to.
Well,
no, it's happening.
I mean, the scary thing is that it could happen. You know what I mean? Look at the way that the court, the Supreme Court is.
Yeah.
You know? Look
Just
at that.
taking over rights, telling you what you can't, not disclose.
Right.
I mean, it's insane.
I mean, why are we reopening the abortion issue? I thought that was already a done deal. What are we doing? You know, I mean,
that
we
was
have
crazy.
other things to take care of now. We're going to have to go back to that. Well,
it needs to be revisited, in my opinion. I'm sorry, not everybody's going to agree with that, but there's certain things that need to be revisited. You don't always get it right the first time. Like,
well, I can see that point
undid
too.
a lot of good and started a lot of bad with that one. You know what I mean? In more ways than one.
Yeah, I don't know. I know it's crazy. I know. I will keep moving here.
King.
A wife should be submissive to her husband, as Paul teaches in multiple places. Yes. So a wife should be submissive to her husband. But in the blog post that you just cited, I made a special point of saying that the woman exercises authority over the selection of the one that she's going to submit to.
So when you say,
yes.
You know what I'm saying?
So, wow.
I can't. Okay, sorry.
Does this mean? Why shouldn't they be?
Well, God created. We want to fit with the design.
Former Mayor Nancy Cheney says the community has endured decades of Wilson's often incendiary ideas.
When some kind of outrageous statements were made early on about Southern slavery as it was, as a mutually affectionate relationship between master and slave, or saying that members of our LGBTQ community, trans people, should be exiled or possibly stoned. That catches our attention.
Wilson says he was misunderstood, rebutting the many controversies on his website.
All you have to do is go watch some of the sermons, not only his, but the other ones, and you're just like, wow, this is nuts.
Oh, wow.
I deny it's...
Okay, Terry's got a really good question here, and she always does. Oh, what happened to it? All right, here it is. This is really good, and I want to ask this question, and I'm going to ask the family out there. Who here thinks Doug and the Christ Church is part of this crime? And the second part of the question is, who do you think is more powerful, Doug Wilson or Scott Green? Okay, so
you hit the nail on the head there.
Right, Terry. She's always comes up with the good shit, man.
Yeah, they're powerful and she's a play here, and they're buying to see who's going to be on top. So, in my opinion, it's criminal, if not in this case, in others I know of.
Okay, let's tackle the second part of the question first. Okay, panel. Let's see. Pebbelz, who do you think has got more power? Who's more powerful, Doug Wilson or Scott Green?
I guess it depends upon what people qualify as power in that area. Because to me, neither of them have power. That's over me. They're both very powerful men in two different types of groups.
Right. But who do you think? Okay, who do you think has more leverage there? That you know what I mean? Who's got? If there was a boss of that city,
they are at war right
who would it
now.
be?
I see Scott Green having more power here lately than Doug Wilson.
It's a tough question, isn't it?
It's a tough question because you can go back and forth.
My personal feeling is I believe Doug 100% has the power over all of that, and I believe that he is a big part of what happened.
Okay, right. Okay, let's see what that. Okay, yeah, let's see what they were saying on here. Okay, I'm seeing greens. Green bean, Joanne. Yeah, most people are saying I don't see a Wilson.
No, Rolo, we were saying we want a castration mandation. That's what we were saying.
Yeah, because Green was able to get that house tore down in like a snap of his fingers.
Mm-hmm. Yep, he was.
Right.
I think, in my opinion, I think Doug had a lot to do with the Idaho 4, the fraternity influence. This is my opinion.
Yeah, with
mind
the
control,
crime
like
part.
they've all got their powers that be. They got money, they got property, they both do.
Right.
They got other powerful friends. Yeah, there's a good one Mike said. But if they work together.
Yeah, Eddie.
Yes, one hand washes the other. Exactly.
Green probably believes like Doug Wilson.
And do you think they're in cahoots together? There's a question I have.
That's what Mikey said. That's what I'm on.
Yeah.
100%.
Power people are powerful for a reason. You have powerful friends.
That's pretty scary when you have a billionaire mixing with a religious fanatic, and that's what I'm going to call him because that's what he is.
He's got money too.
There's a difference.
Yeah.
There's a difference between.
But he has nothing to do with God.
No, God.
No.
It's all propaganda, influence, mind control.
God and the name God and him should not be in the same sentence.
No. I think Doug has controlled one part, and I believe Green has controlled the other part, and I believe those two are the powerhouse in this, in my opinion.
Right.
Oh, this goes up. In my opinion, it goes even higher than that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you guys see that the Phoenix is on hold right now?
Well, this is interesting too, Terry. Again, I believe that real estate was a big part of this. I think Green came back because Doug got him to come back.
Ding, ding, ding. I would say that's pretty dang close. I was thinking the same thing.
Yep. 100%.
Terry, good job.
I wonder if Doug is any kind of fraternity.
That church in itself is of a fraternal order, if you think about it.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if he's a frat bro, like the rest of them are.
Right.
Like the judge and Thompson. I don't know. They all seem to know each other for years.
Yeah, because they all come from the same thing.
They all need powerful friends. Yeah. You stick together. It's like indoctrination. You don't have to go outside of this community. Stay here. All your influences here. We can control our borders. And then you expand like they're trying to take over parts of Oregon now.
Yeah.
It's
insane. It just keeps moving across everywhere,
Right.
I mean, where'd they get money from? Brad Little is the one chucking that over just so easily, too, without question. Where'd he come from? You'll get yourself in a rabbit hole there. It's powerful people. It goes all the way up.
I could never live there. I could never live. And you know what? The bummer is, man, I've been through there, and I've been through Moscow. It's beautiful out there, man. It is totally beautiful out there. I was there in 1990, and it was like, oh my God. I mean, it is. It's a beautiful place. It really is. Yeah.
Whoa, what's going on in chat? Am I behind?
No, I don't think
What
so.
is going on? Something is
Yeah,
up.
what is going on? Something ain't right.
What? Huh?
Yeah, I think it's surrender and chalk, I think.
Yeah, something isn't right.
They're gone.
You guys, let's keep
Yeah.
it respectful, please. It's been great.
They're gone.
Let's not dismantle. Yeah, let's keep it the way we always do. Please.
Yeah, just, we can't.
Okay, so yeah.
Money
It's
and
over.
lust of money is that's a subject that's been since the beginning of time.
Big Mikey's got it right there.
It's evil.
They all scratch each other butt.
You know it, right?
Just about.
Yeah.
Scratching something.
Yeah.
Scratch and sniff.
Well, I guess so.
Oh, make sure you're using hand sanitizer, people. God, germs are everywhere. Woo.
All right,
The
let's
dude
get
is,
it on.
and trust me,
Yeah.
he wants to take over Moscow.
Writing he does not believe in the death penalty for homosexual acts or that slavery was a positive good.
That's a good
But
one.
the visible and
151.
invisible lines being drawn here and elsewhere across the country are setting off alarm bells for many faith leaders.
Do you consider Christ Church a church?
I don't.
Really?
I really don't.
What is it then?
I see it as a dominionist cult.
Reverend Dr. Elizabeth Stevens leads the Unitarian Universalist Church of the Palouse.
In the public square, I don't see them representing Christianity. I don't see them representing the values that I find in the Bible. I see them representing patriarchy. I see them fighting the culture war.
Stevens' position in that war is visible for all to see. A stained glass rainbow chalice. Wilson fights with the printed word. A prolific author, he's written dozens of books.
Writes a
all
lot of books.
distributed by his
Look at that.
own Canon Press. It publishes more than 1,000 different titles,
Money.
half of which are books and materials serving hundreds of thousands of homeschool and Christian students nationwide. Wilson laughs off the cult accusation, but the former Navy man embraces culture warrior.
You can't have a naval warfare without ships, and you can't have tank warfare without tanks. And as I tell Christians all around the country, you can't have culture war unless you have a culture. Our tagline is all of Christ for all of life. So we want to be 7 day a week, 24-hour Christians in everything we do. And a distinctively Christian culture is forming here, and not reclusive and not cultic, but it's distinct.
Here in Moscow, Wilson and Christ Church have built a multi-million-dollar enterprise that includes a K-12 school, a publishing house, a college, and a streaming show. Pursuits that some worry will change the very character of this town.
You don't need to go anywhere, children. You just stay right here.
Yeah.
You just stay right here. You don't need to go to school over there. You don't need to go to college over there. You don't need to do your own streaming stuff. You want to be hip. You don't have to go be hip. You can do it all right here over the watchful eye. Because if you step out of line, your ass gets reprimanded like a motherfucker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When you see this kind of emotion and this kind of passion behind the messages, shit, that's no limit. I don't doubt anybody's story that, there's multiple stories where we've heard of people that have attended this organization and the kind of tactics and stuff that they do, and it makes you think of like Scientology shit.
Right?
Right.
Yes.
Real.
Scientology is.
Yeah, I was also thinking that.
I don't know. They came out number 2.
Yeah, I don't know how that
Number 2 safest college, right? Okay. And WSU's suspending all the frat stuff like all these other colleges are now because I think of the rituals. And
yeah, I've heard about those rituals.
Well, what's crazy is shout out Kelly Miller. She brought it up. She was like, I wonder if you guys know what Bohemian Grove is?
Yes.
Yeah.
Evil.
She was like, I wonder if they have rituals like, those one kind of rituals or whatever. And I instantly thought Bohemian Grove, and I wouldn't be surprised because Bohemian Grove's full of politics too, just like the Friends are. And when I want to say shout out to Kelly Miller because I'm going to share something else with you here. Sigma Chi initiation ritual. Shout out Kelly Miller. Yeah, Bohemian Grove's crazy. This is the ritual. Ain't this some crazy shit? I'm not going to read it out loud, but it tells you who says what. Yeah, this is who says what. Each segment of the ceremony, it's like a script to a movie.
Oh my God.
The obligation, presentation, explanation, entering the lecture, the exemplification, the enrollment, the charge, the friendship circle, closing.
What does
Brothers,
the
we
friendship
partner you.
circle say?
Friendship circle. Consult to the new initiates at the chapter meeting closing. It is traditional to conduct the friendship circle, which is begun by the council, passing around the circle, commencing with the annotator, giving to each brother in turn the fraternal grip and saying, I seek true friendship. And the answer from each brother is, you find it here. As I proceed around the circle, I am followed closely by the annotator, whom the brothers shall follow consecutively, starting with the most recent initiate.
Oh.
I wouldn't be surprised, yo, if it was some fucking Bohemian Grove type shit.
See,
And
I was
Go
was
ahead.
asking CJ because I was wondering if there was in anywhere like the Freemasons do, to pledge, if there's any kind of pledge of loyalty to another member, even in legal situations, because that is a Freemasonry pledge. So I just wondered if there was anything close to that in here.
I'm sure it's all tied in. I'm sure it's all tied in. It's very political. So are these groups and organizations, very political, right? I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if some of the grub truck group.
Ooh.
Anybody that has been around for that long, when I discussed it, I wouldn't be surprised if some of that and some of those higher ups that are the Sigma Chi buddies over there aren't at those ceremonies overseeing all of it either. Wouldn't that
So-
be some shit?
This is for new members, right? It's like
Yeah.
initiation.
This is the Sigma Chi initiation ritual. And it's got the opening, light of the seven lights, the prayer, entrance of the magister and candidates, the vouching, the enlightenment, the lighting of the seven candles.
Oof, that sounds crazy.
The three great aims, the appearance of Constantine. I mean, when you go through our episodes that we did on it, those are members live only. We kind of went into, I definitely suggest any of you guys, if you are a member, go just type in Sigma Chi in the show. We really got into the hierarchy and the positions and even the reenactment of how it became a fraternity and all sorts of stuff. I mean, you guys definitely want to go check it out because it'll go even deeper in this stuff that we're talking about right here. But I wanted to share that. Shout out Kay Miller for that. Now here's something else I want to say. Shout out to Katrina. This was a video that she had posted a little bit ago in the Discord Idaho 4 info drop. And this was, if you guys look at the date, this was 9 days before the unaliving at 11/22. Okay, so keep that in mind. as we watch this video.
Police sergeant who reportedly engaged in sexual activity while on duty resigned earlier this week. Police Sergeant Matt Kurt was facing disciplinary proceedings after allegedly engaging in inappropriate activity while on duty in Pullman and on the Pullman campus. He was placed on home assignment in March when those allegations were first brought to the university's attention. His resignation now comes 3 months after WSU Police Chief Bill Gardner, Assistant Chief Steve Hansen, and Captain Mike Larson all announced their retirements after being served notice in July pending disciplinary action as
Look at all. I mean, this was 9 days before the crime took place. Twin brothers. What have I been saying? Twin brothers.
Wow.
Twin brothers.
That's that place. It's like the portal to hell or something. It's like a portal. Just everybody evil. Just kind of.
This is when Don Daniels took over. Yeah, it's so shout out Katrina. Thank you for that.
Okay, we're back.
Chat, let's get it together,
Yeah.
please. We don't act like this normally. I'm not impressed with what I'm seeing or the disrespect between each other that never happens, usually. Let's stop that, please. I know it's a hard subject, but if we're human like we're claiming to be, I think we can get it together.
Yes.
Please. It's a respect issue. That's all I'm asking. Respect each other. Respect Tommy's chat. Respect the mods.
Yeah,
please.
whoever, mods take care of it. Whoever's out there, whatever's going on, I don't know what's going on. I guess I'm not seeing it, but yeah, Mama's talking. I'm not sure what's going on here.
Just be respectful of each other's views. If you don't have to agree, we don't all agree. We never are going to agree 100%. But we can respect each other enough not to be hateful.
All right.
That right there is a prime example of what we're supposed to be trying to get rid of. There's too much of that in the community.
All right.
Remember, we can do better, guys. We said at the beginning.
Yeah, I don't like drama, man. I'm telling you that right now. I don't like fucking drama. People will get banned, and they will get banned for life. Okay, so anyway.
Exactly. That's all I'm asking, please.
So anyway, to the video, and what are you guys thinking on that?
A lot.
Go ahead. Go ahead. What do you got?
Well, my daddy is not up in here, so I don't know who's trying to trick anybody. But unless you're my daddy or you're Jesus yourself, you gotta fight against your hands. So that needs to stop right now. Because I won't put up with it.
Is it still going on? What's going on? I don't see it.
What's going on? I'm missing something.
I am too, I think. Pebbs is good at what she does, but I don't see what's going on, I guess.
We'll see if it stops in a minute. If not, I'll take care of it.
I was glad that CJ showed the ritual part of their book. That it shows, that
right.
It could be more real to people, that they can understand that maybe parts of this, could be a ritual. Because it's
very ritual.
In one night. That all know each other. I don't know what the connecting
scratching butts and taking names and making money for each other.
The whole ritual that goes back to like what Rollo has in his what he's seen in the Linda Lane footage and what Billy seen with the and she kept saying, I see people in cloaks.
Yes. Yes. And again,
you know.
Mhm.
And so they have this book that, that one was about the initiation.
Mm-hmm. This is what I keep going back to. There has been influence on this, and I truly believe there's so much more that happened at Linden Lane than just the unalivings. I believe there was also rituals like what Billy was seeing, the monkeys and all that. There's a whole lot of influence with this going on, and
There is.
and this man is slowly being exposed, and he needs to be more exposed.
So many like him, unfortunately.
Yes.
Well, he's kind of like, he's not there. He's not an evangelist or anything like that, which is even
And that's what he
scarier
tries to
because
claim
he's
is.
more in control. He's in more control of himself than some of these wild. He's smarter than them. That's what's scary to me. Is like an intelligent man.
Yes, and he's extremely manipulative, and he knows how to feed upon all of this.
Yep.
The weakness. He knows what to say, what not to say. He has money to bring him to wherever he needs to go to. He has all this influence with the money, with himself. This is very dangerous.
Yeah, that could be, Thomas. So we don't know. And we got to look down.
At
You know
least,
me.
they
I'm going to
can
look down.
go
I'm going to
along
look
with the
down
flow.
every hole. Right. I'm
Absolutely,
going to look down
Thomas.
every rabbit hole.
Yeah,
Those are hypocrites.
You have to.
Right. Yeah, really bad.
I truly believe there was a ceremony sacrificing going on, 100%. And this guy, he kind of talks about that type of, the ceremony part, and he speaks in code. You got to read between these lines, get to know him a little bit more. He's really telling you something other than what he's telling you the opposite of what he really believes in. My opinion.
Right.
He tells on himself, just like people will always tell on themselves eventually.
Yes, they do.
No matter if people want to see it.
Yep, they do.
Yeah. No doubt about it.
It's okay to be friends with people. Friends show respect. That's all I'm asking. Yeah. If that's the case, then just be respectful, please. Right. That's not asking much.
Yeah. Yeah, we kind of know what's going on. Up here, I think we know more what's going on than they do out there.
I don't know what's going on ever. It seems like I'm always playing catch up, I feel.
Right.
What's going on now? What's that?
Anyway, we did we did some good stuff there, and we tackled a couple hard topics, Yeah, Tom is right. When I saw the videos, we know what y'all did, and all that she revealed. I don't have any doubt. Right? Yeah, that was a good. He's got some good, or she, whatever, has got some good videos on. Right?
Yes. Yeah.
I can't see any of that stuff. So
that's the one that you see inside the apartment, right?
Right. Yep. Okay.
I can never see any of that. I'm just terrible at that, though. That's not my thing. I'm too afraid to have seizures or whatever it is.
I just some. The one looking in the apartment, I saw some.
Yeah, Randy doesn't see much. There's people
Randy,
that
you're not alone.
just don't see it. Right. There's people that don't see things, but I'll tell you what. Once you do see it, then you can't stop seeing it.
Exactly. I know, because then you keep looking and watching and look, and then then you could see it. You're right. You just cannot.
Right. Yep. Well, I think it's been a good show, though. I think we tackled some good stuff and showed a couple of good videos, and we did premiere or the trailer. That was really good. I really like
Oh my
what she
gosh,
did with
hats off to Elle. Please, everybody,
Elle.
show Elle
Right,
some love.
right.
She worked hard
Yep,
on that.
yep.
Yes, brilliant,
That's
Elle.
what passion is about.
Right.
Yep.
So much appreciated.
Yep.
Yepper.
So
Okay, what
please,
do I
like,
got
send some
over
positive
here?
vibes there.
Right. Okay, well, I think we're gonna call her tonight, guys. And
Okay.
Yeah, I got that out of there. And I gotta look and see. Wait a minute, I want to see if that downloaded or not. It didn't. Okay, we're having a problem getting that. That was through Google Drive, you know. I'm having a hard
Is that
time
what the
getting.
problem was?
Yeah, I'm having a hard time downloading it. It won't download.
Dang you, Google.
So I don't know how we're gonna. We'll figure it out because I'm definitely gonna post it as a video. You know what I mean?
I can't believe she can do all of that. I could never put that together. It's
Right? Yeah,
a lot
she
of
did an
work.
amazing job. Yeah, amazing job. Yepper. All right. Well, I guess that will be it for the night. And to my beautiful crime family, I love you all very much, as you know. And let's see, what am I going to do?
Thank y'all for
here?
hanging in there. And
Yeah, and thank you, gals. You
Thank you,
gals
guys.
rock. Pebbelz-Natural and Leah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We want to
enjoyed
thank
it.
all the mods over from CJ's for coming over as well and showing some love. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
Thank
Very
you.
much. And make sure y'all sub up everybody. CJ and Neek Speaks and Rolo and Bubbles and Bubbly Water. Bubbles.
Well, yeah,
Bubbly
Bubbles not
Water.
pop this bubble.
All right. Okay. So anyway, until next time, rock and roll.
Sha la 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 la. Oh, staring at the mirror when I'm straight down, staring at this yellow-haired girl. Mr. Jones strikes up a conversation with the black hair, the man coat dance. You know she dances while his father plays guitar. She's suddenly beautiful, and we all want something beautiful. Man, I wish I was beautiful. So come dance the silence down through the morning. Sha la 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 la, yeah. Oh, yeah. Cut up, Maria. Show me something Spanish dancing. Pass me a bottle, Mr. Jones. Believe in me. Help me believe in anything. wanna be lonely. I wanna be alive. Everybody wanna pass this kiss. We wanna be big stars together. We got different reasons for that. Believe in me, 'cause I don't believe in anything, and I wanna be someone to believe, to believe, to believe.